John McDonnell, self-professed Marxist,
I'm a Marxist.
who later on went on to deny that.
Are you a Marxist?
No.
Current Shadow Chancellor for the Labour Party.
To assist Comrade Osborne in his dealings with his newfound comrades, I brought him along Mao's Little Red Book.
I want to hear about the contents of the book.
And look, it's his personal signed copy. The problem is, half the Shadow Cabinet have been sent off to re-education.
One of those very hard-left individuals that many believe is a Ramona, was recently on the Andrew Marr Show, which is a Sunday morning show about politics, involving a, quote, journalist. The BBC have published an article, because it's on their channel, titled Labour Should Get On With Changing Its Brexit Policy. Underneath is a video. I'm going to play a clip of it. It's only 42 seconds long. It's archived below. Just notice something important.
Where I've expressed a view, I've said, look, we need to express a view now, which is clearly, as I said, I will vote Remain. I want to campaign for Remain. And what Jeremy is rightfully doing, and this is one of the differences between us, I just say, let's get on with it. Jeremy is much wiser, actually. He says, let's talk to people, bring them together, build consensus, and then go for it. And that's what he's doing at the moment.
I don't agree with the Remain stance of McDonnell, but notice he didn't say Labour should get on with changing its Brexit policy. This is either a poorly chosen clip to get people to watch the Andrew Marr Show to get the clip in question, or an intentional misdirect, for other reasons, of course.
And he's talking.
But you've almost run out of time,
well,
hasn't you?
That's the issue. No, that is the issue I've said to Jeremy, because if Boris does call a general election in September, we won't even have a conference to decide these matters. That's why we need to decide early and get on with it. And that's why he is talking to people now to bring them together.
Basically, the entire article the BBC have now framed is based around the 6 words,
I want to campaign for Remain.
That's it. There have been accusations levied at John McDonnell recently. The most commonly known would be those calling for the Labour leader to sack his advisers, as it is believed he is being held hostage by them.
Let's get on with it.
This quote, which obviously I overlooked for a second, is what the BBC have titled the article, implying that John McDonnell takes a very different stance, which he does, but upon hearing the context, he concedes that Jeremy is right to build a consensus. Therefore, his more reckless approach would be the incorrect one, because it is not going to yield a positive response or result. The article then just moves away from this entirely by talking about a recent Panorama documentary on Labour and anti-Semitism, where a number of members of Labour Party staff broke NDAs to speak to BBC journalists about anti-Semitism within the Labour Party, with the deputy leader, Tom Watson, saying it was futile to use expensive media lawyers in an attempt to silence staff members, which led to a rather interesting contradiction brought up by Labour MP Wes Streeting, who said Labour opposes NDAs, yet seems to impose them. I'm protected by parliamentary privilege. I'll whistle-blow in the House of Commons for anyone who needs me to do so. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. No more excuses or hiding places. You should promise the same, Jeremy Corbyn. With others, including the Shadow International Trade Secretary, Mr. Gardiner, attacking the programme as being biased. What? The BBC? Biased? Never. All that aside, it's quite fascinating to me that the BBC had a title for an article about John McDonnell and then just went in a completely different direction to something completely different because they couldn't make an entire article on that one subject. Interesting. Now, I should point out with this particular subject matter on Brexit, the BBC pull all these different Labour MPs onto their show because they're able to get them to open up and admit they hold a differing position to that of Jeremy. They're never given the chance to explain the differing position properly, or that they may or may not agree with Jeremy, only that their differing opinion exists. This adds fuel, fire and credibility to the belief that Labour does not have a solid position on Brexit and are infighting because they don't have a solid position. Because Labour don't have a solid position, nobody believes much of what they say, while they are the opposition and don't really have to have one, on a subject as highly charged as that of Brexit, it would serve the party well, perhaps at a conference, for all members to agree a consensus and outright state it. For the many, not the few, with no hint of irony.